on vacation, but they don't look like me. If they snow that southern road, never stand the strain. I need you more than want you, and I want you for all time. And the Wichita Lineman still on the line. Still on the line. Still on the line.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Free Range Diva. Thank you so much for stopping by to hang out with me a little bit today. If you thought that Southern California is nothing but one gigantic strip mall, you'd be right, especially if you drive east out of the city on Interstate 10. It's strip mall followed by mixed-use mall, followed by shopping mall, followed by fast food restaurants. It goes on for miles. So this weekend, I threw the family in the car, my mother, my dog, and a good friend, and drove out about 80 miles east of the city, almost past the strip mallia. Is that a word? Let's make it a word. The strip mallia of Southern California, and turned north up into the foothills, and there you will find apple orchards. So I went to an orchard called Parish Pioneer Ranch, and unfortunately the weather was pretty bad. A lot of rain, mist and fog, so there was no apple picking that day. So I could not go to the orchard, but I did go to the big general store and bought some apples and some fresh pressed cider. I did it. I had to practice saying fresh pressed cider. So I bought some apples and fresh pressed cider, and then we had lunch, and looked around a little bit, and then came home. So because the weather was so bad, I wasn't able to show you as much as I had hoped, but I'm thinking that maybe between now and the end of apple season, which is at the end of this month, I may make another trip back out there again. In the meantime, though, I got 2 big bags of apples and brought them home, and then I had this kind of figure out what to do with them. Sorry. So then I had to figure out what to do with them, and yesterday was Halloween, and I had a nice season-appropriate dinner with squash and sausages, and I wanted a nice season-appropriate dessert, so I made an apple crisp, because there is nothing like the smell of baked apples and cinnamon and butter to just, make you feel like, comfort and fall and warmth. And there's something about the smell of baked apples that makes me dream about a simpler time, with hot mulled cider and a roaring fire, and when life was just, was there ever a time like that where life was just simple? You did what you got up in the morning, you did your work for the day, you came home, you hung out with the family, and you slept really, really good at night. So I used a recipe from America's Test Kitchen, and I'll put a link below in case you want to try it out. And because these apples that I used are very sweet, I probably put in about half the amount of sugar that the actual recipe calls for. And I also used a combination of coconut sugar and raw sugar as well. But it turned out great. Oh, and I put in a little maple syrup too, now that I think about it. I swapped out some of the sugar for maple syrup, but it turned out really, really good. So I'm going to show you what I did, and if you enjoy it, you might want to give it a try. And also, I have all these apples now, and I don't have that many apple recipes, I realized. I guess I could make up a big batch of applesauce, but I would really like to make something savory. Baked apples with something. I'm not sure what. So if you guys have any ideas or that of recipes that I could make that are like savory recipes that involve apples, because I could make sweet apple desserts all day long, like apple cakes and things like that. But I would really like to try something for like a main dish dinner. So let me know in the comments below if you have any recommendations. Okay, so that's it. I just wanted to say that I'm really happy fall is here. It's not as in your face. There aren't as many fall colors or anything like that. But it's it's nice to be able to get away, to go away on a cool, crisp day and see something other than concrete and electrical tension wires. So I hope you enjoyed my footage, and I hope you will enjoy this recipe. So without any more delay, here comes my apple crisp. So here are my bags of goodies. I've got wine saps and Spartans. And after giving it some careful thought, I decided that I'm going to use the wine saps. There you can see they're small to medium size. I'm going to use these to make the apple crisp because they're a little not as sweet as the Spartans. So wine saps it's going to be. In this bowl I have flour, oats, pecans, sugar, and salt. I think that's it. And now I'm just going to stir this up a little bit and then add some butter to this. The reason why I decided to make an apple crisp today instead of, any other apple dessert you could think of is because today's Halloween and tonight I'm having roast acorn squash. Just going to add this butter. And some French apple chicken sausage. So I thought this would be in keeping with the autumn Halloween spicy theme, because the acorn squash I'm going to roast with some hot chili powder and garlic and maple syrup. Okay, so this is all mixed together. I'm just going to set this aside and work on the apples. This is a skillet apple crisp recipe from America's Test Kitchen. So the first thing I want to do is take some of this apple cider and I'm going to simmer this on a low flame until it's reduced by half in my cast iron, my enamel coated cast iron skillet. So that's the first thing we're going to do. I'm working on my last apple. I'm peeling, coring, and then slicing them into half-inch slices. One thing I have learned from doing this recipe is no matter how many apples that it calls for, based on size, always put in one more because they really cook down. And if you don't, you'll have, the balance won't be right between fruit and topping, unless you like a lot of topping. So here's everything here. I spritzed all these apples with a half of a lemon with the juice of half of a lemon and then mixed everything up. I'm going to now going to finish this one up and then add my sugar. I have melted butter here, and I'm going to add the fruit. This is apples. Okay. These apples will cook down. It's sugar, cinnamon, the lemon juice, and then just the apples. I also, because these apples are very sweet, I didn't put quite as much sugar as the recipe called for. And I swapped out a little of the sugar for maple syrup. Okay, so I'm just going to keep stirring these a little bit until this cooks down a bit, and then I'll be right back. So the apples have cooked down. They're soft and they're translucent, but they're not cooked all the way through. We're going to finish this off in the oven. And I'm going to add the topping. And once I have this topping on, I'll put it in the oven. It's at 425, and we'll bake it for about 20 minutes until the topping is nice and brown and the apples will be thick. Oh no, you know what I forgot? It's not too late. The cider that we reduced, let's get that in there. That just gives it a little more of an apple flavor. There we go. All right. So yeah, so as I was saying, we will cook this for about 20 minutes till the topping has browned, the nuts have roasted and developed all their flavor, and the apples are cooked through. Yeah, I'm using my hands. Okay, oven time. Thanks so much for watching today. Everybody take care, and I will see you again very, very soon. Mmm.